Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from Relationship Advice. Our first post is by Throwaway. He's 42M, been pinching my 35F babies. While I was scrolling on here and replying to people, I decided to check my baby monitor, and I watched my husband enter our children's room and insult them in a hushed and whispery tone. I couldn't make out much of what he was saying, but he was without a doubt telling them that he hated them and wished them dead. Then he pinched my son, and my baby boy didn't even cry, which made me think he's done this many times before. It all happened so fast, and by the time I could make sense of what was happening on the monitor, he was already walking down the hallway and down the stairs. At the same time, I had leapt off the sofa and pretty much tackled him as he came off the stairs. We got into a physical and verbal altercation. We fought, argued, and shouted for hours. I guess the police were called by the neighbors because the next thing I know, the police are banging on my door. I explained the situation to the police, and the officers said that they could not prove that my baby was harmed since he didn't have a bruise, and my baby monitor was only on live feed and not simultaneously recording. Eventually, they got my husband to agree to pack a bag and leave. He left reluctantly. He has since been blowing up my phone begging for forgiveness, talking about how he's been depressed and stressed by the babies, and that his anxiety and jealousy got the best of him. I just responded once telling him to go screw himself. I've also been in contact with a lawyer, and she's advised me to leave him unblocked in case he further incriminates himself. I don't even recognize who this man is. Where did this all come from? How did this happen? Has any other parent experienced this? How did you handle this? Before y'all start jumping down my throat, I am absolutely getting a divorce, and I will do everything in my power to get full custody. I did take my children to our family doctor, and they are in good health, and there are no other signs of abuse. I've filled a report with the police, and my lawyer is dealing with it. I'm also about to start the process of divorce. Our next post is by Throwaway. Affair partner, 25F, attacked me, 30F. Struggling with resentment towards my husband, 27M, and fear of her. My husband and I used to have a good marriage. I have a lot of work after I moved job roles. We couldn't spend as much time together. I was exhausted and addicted to my phone. I spent 2 hours a day on my phone. I wasn't cheating on him with my phone. My husband was convinced I was pulling away from him. He confided his worries with a female friend, a woman who was interested in him. She convinced him I was cheating. He sought refuge in her. She was very manipulative and capitalized on his childhood trauma. It was an emotional affair. Then she kissed him, and he told me out of guilt the day of. I was crushed. I had never cheated on him, had never even thought of another man. He begged me for a second chance. I thought I could move past it because his cheating was not as bad. I have access to his phone, his computer, his location, everything. He gave it to me willingly. I didn't ask. His affair partner flipped out when he told her he confessed and that we were going to try reconciling. He was texting her with my permission because I wanted to know if he was telling the truth. She tried to convince him that I was cheating. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken him back. Then she said I had no self-esteem. He went no contact with her. After 3 months, we were both in individual and marriage counseling. We were doing well. Then his affair partner and I ran into each other. I don't know if she was stalking me or not. She verbally attacked me before she escalated. I filed a police report. She was arrested and released on bail. However, it will take months before anything happens. I also tried to get a protection order, but it's harder than expected to get. I found out that she was making TikToks about being the other woman. My husband has been a model husband since then, but my gut tells me to file for divorce. She genuinely scares me. What do I do when my husband has been a model husband since then, but I resent him for bringing her into our life? How do I stop being terrified of her and looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life? Our next post is by Throwaway. My wife, 29F, keeps bragging about how she gets to stay home. How do I, 29M, don't know how to ask her to tone it down? My wife and I got married about a year ago, and she's been staying home since. She hated her job and was extremely unhappy, so I didn't mind her quitting because it meant she would be happier. We can comfortably live on just my income, so it's okay. The issue is that my wife brags about it to anyone that will listen. She's made a TikTok account where she posts about her life. It was wholesome and cute at first, but now it's only about how she married a man who could support her, how she doesn't have to go to work unlike other women, how she couldn't imagine working again, and that other women are missing out, etc. She even does it to her sisters and friends in real life. Anytime she's on the phone, I keep hearing her talk about how she's so glad she doesn't have to work like friend's sister on the phone, and that staying at home and spending money is her calling. She doesn't even spend that much, but to her friends and family she makes it sound like all she does is shop and buy extravagant things. We had dinner with her sisters last night. One of her sisters mentioned that she has a busy day tomorrow, as in today, with work and everything, and as a joke my wife said, "Oh, let me check my calendar so see what I have on my agenda. Oh, shop, that's it," and she laughed. Her sister rolled her eyes and no one really laughed. I don't think she realized how awkward things got though, because she just started talking about plates and stuff. I was cringing at the situation mostly because that isn't even her life. We're not rich enough that she can constantly shop, so it's kind of weird to me that she pretends like we have so much money when we don't. In reality, my wife cooks a lot. She spends her days cooking, baking, taking walks, exercising, and reading books. She loves all of these things, and I can tell that she's genuinely happy with how she lives. I want to ask her why she feels the need to lie or brag about her lifestyle. I have no clue how to even bring this up, or if I even should. She seems like she's really enjoying this entire thing and it isn't hurting anyone, so maybe I shouldn't say anything, but I'm worried her sisters and friends might be getting annoyed with her. And honestly, I don't love hearing all that either. Would it be weird of me to bring it up? Our next post is by Throwaway. My 38F friend said she will ruin a friendship if I, 39M, don't date her. I'm a widower with a 12-year-old daughter. My wife died 6 years ago, and it was super hard on both me and my daughter. I've been focused on being the best parent that I can be, and with support from family plus therapy for us both, we're managing okay. I do know how hard it was for my daughter to make friends for a while after that. For the past 2 years she's had this really good friend. They are pretty much inseparable. I've seen the difference this friend has made to my daughter's life, and it's been amazing. The friend has a mother who is also a single parent. We started interacting more a year ago when our daughters got closer, and I thought we were pretty good friends. A few weeks ago she said she had feelings for me. I do not feel the same way, unfortunately. She's a great person, but I just don't feel that way about her, and I was honest about it. She didn't take it well, and I empathize. I think we've all been there. But in the past 2 weeks she asked me again. She said things like she wants me to give it a chance, she feels we'd be great together, and it's good for the kids. 2 days ago, she said she might have to restrict her daughter from being friend with mine because it's a painful reminder to her about me. I really don't know what to do. Her friend cutting off contact will set my daughter back and really mess with her. And I will feel 100% responsible for that. But on the other hand, being forced into a relationship feels so wrong and weird. It's not fair to anyone. Any ideas at all? I have no idea how to proceed. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.